This is the real reason we're not offering any referrals for any contracting whatsoever. I'm reading the newsletter that was sent out. There is a link in the footer. This is the current situation. We do hold a 6-day per week video conference call. A little bit controversial because we tell the sad truth about the outcome of being a new insurance agent. Common knowledge that 92% of agents will fail. These agents will not renew their license in year 4, including in these 8% that succeed for NYLife, Mass Mutual, Northwest Mutual, financial advisors. These people, greater likelihood of actually succeeding. If you're in a product line that they talk about final expense, mortgage protection, building a team, the fail rate has to be close to 97%. The recruiters that are bringing you into these type of systems know these numbers. They have to profit somehow, some way. The latest and greatest technique is to sell your lead to new agents. Recycle leads that they're equivalent of data. There really aren't that many people filling out forms. For the most part, people getting a postcard sent to their mailbox. The likely poor person to fill that out is a poor person. A poor person is less likely to take advantage of what insurance companies do well, which is tax deferred and tax-free income. So we are talking about a limited number of leads. The solution is new agents who have a tremendous fail rate. Somehow, some way, they're bend a couple $100 or a couple $1,000 before they see what's going on. I hear these stories daily and it breaks my heart. Agents that are being wiped out financially after getting an insurance license. Dozens of entities in this 97% fail market. I should mention the gentleman who talks about the 92% fail rate. In general, his name is Cody Askins. That leaves 8% that succeed. And I'll talk about the 97% fail market. My advice, my number one advice is to stop and think. Specifically, get a written guarantee of lead exclusivity from an entity that recruits into this 97% fail market. Be prepared to take legal action to protect your right. Probably best not to buy leads from a lead seller who has a large database of gullible agents, gullible buyers. You make that decision, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Let's go into the 3 items that you are being told about, which is final expense, mortgage protection, build a team. Bullet point number 1, final expense. Think about the concept of final expense whole life insurance. If I were a 65-year-old broke person without a burial plan, there are a few options. If that was me personally, I would walk into the local funeral home and ask for help. A licensed insurance agent at that local funeral home would present me a pre-need burial life insurance policy, which has the main feature that the premiums actually end, as opposed to final expense whole life. In essence, don't sell in this market until you have put yourself in the prospect's shoes and done the due diligence, the proper research. Similar with mortgage life, which is term life for new homeowners, mom, dad, and kids. This is perfect for life insurance sales. The best rate, after checking out online on quote engines, the best rate for a 35-year-old male non-smoker, $500,000 of coverage, 20-year term is $238.25 a year. The question obviously is, how on God's green earth can an agent afford to buy the lead and do a home visit to sell this type of policy? There's not enough profit to actually do the best policy for the client. On the other hand, if you overcharge the new client with an uncompetitive carrier, you're more likely to get a cancellation. You would be foregoing the opportunity to sell a bigger retirement type planning type policy in the future. I invite new agents to analyze this mortgage protection market, and you may realize the way you stay in business is to develop relationships that allow you to sell these bigger retirement planning types of policy eventually. Bullet point number 3 is build a team. The immediate upline is the guarantor of bad debt. Recruiting an agent that has a 97% fail rate and guaranteeing their debt does not seem smart. All the while, the MLM, about the multi-level marketer above you, are encouraging you to build a team. An added bonus to the MLM of recruiting you recruiting people, building a team, is it allows them to sell recycled leads to more new agents. Dozens of recruiters are in the new agent market. These recruiters don't like NAAIP. People at my company have been threatened with defamation lawsuits. Months ago, after being threatened and having no desire to engage in any legal battles, NAAIP immediately ceased making references to specific carriers and recruiters. As well, our licensed agent partners, they were through threatened and had no desire to accept referrals from NAAIP. Imagine the legal fees that Amber Heard and Johnny Depp are paying right now. On the other hand, there is a desire to protect innocent people. Thankfully, there are 50 states and each state has dedicated personnel whose job is to investigate fraud. This is obvious as all heck. Lead selling fraud can potentially lead to churning and elder abuse. That is something that the 50 state departments of insurances would have to investigate and prosecute. This is not NAIP's job. We are not the government. Certain states will only accept complaints from affected state residents. NAIP wants to protect the public from being defrauded and has evidence that will certainly help the state in its duties of prosecuting fraud. To put it bluntly, if you have been a victim of lead fraud, talk to my company. NAIP is a website builder. Over 15,000 people that have registered in our system. We have a pretty good idea what's going on. I personally do the 6-day per week video conference call. I speak to thousands and thousands of agents, and these stories really do break my heart. If there's anything I could do to help people out, the general public in particular, lead fraud, which quite often leads to elder abuse and churning. Please sign up for naaip.org. It's free. You'll see the quality.